Brian, they're going to be underdogs going into the next round. Los Angeles and Chicago, they're that good. But the feeling around the community of the Rangers is they're on a magic carpet ride. They've got karma. They've got this thing working in their favor. As a professional athlete, do you buy into that? Do you buy into being a team of destiny?
Well, I buy into the confidence factor. I think it plays a huge role in professional sports, and I think their core group has got a lot of belief in themselves and how they've developed. Just a couple years ago, they were a couple games from going to the finals, and I believe Lundqvist gives you that ability to believe in the group around you and the positive things that you can do as a group. I think that first two games on the road for the Rangers are going to be hugely important. I think, to get at least a split out of those, I think will give them, renew that feeling and say, yes, we can do this. So that'll be interesting to see which team comes out of there. But, when you have that goaltender and Henrik and you have that confidence in the group, it makes a big difference.
So many contributors to this victory against the Canadiens, and one of the biggest factors I thought was the play of Ryan McDonagh, especially offensively in the beginning of the series. Brian, do you think this is a guy that can mature and grow into a future Norris Trophy winner?
Well, I certainly think he has that ability to be in one of those top three each year, obviously staying healthy. But that confidence with him, too, is a big deal. I think we all saw when he came into the league or came to the Rangers, his skating really stood out to all of us. And he pretty much just played that role as a defensive defenseman, moved the puck up, could eliminate space from opposing players and obviously make the good pass and be involved. But I think between the coaches and himself wanting more out of his game, I think they gave him the confidence by telling him we need you to be involved. And if you make a mistake, we'll deal with that. And him wanting to take that next step. And it's been a lot of fun to watch this whole season. Some of the plays he's made, you can only do when you're feeling good about your game and about yourself and where you stand on the team. And I don't see any reason why he won't continue this next year. And, Drew Doughty kind of did the same thing at a younger age with the Canadian Olympic team and made a big step up there and then was kind of able to carry that on and gave him confidence to be able to do that on a regular basis. So, you don't really want to compare, but he's the type of player that can control the game at both ends when he wants to.
Brian Leetch, the Hall of Famer, and he was at the Rangers in 1994 when they won the Stanley Cup, our guest here on the Michael Kay Show. Brian, do you feel a different sense about this Ranger team than yours? You guys had Messier. You were built to win, to break that long drought. This team almost comes off as the little engine that could, the underdog team. Do you sense that?
Yeah, a different journey for them than it was for us, no question. And we had success a couple of years before with the President's Trophy and not done well, and then had an underperforming year the next year, but then we were the top team again going into the playoffs. So, a lot of people around us had high expectations. We went into it ourselves with high expectations. There was no added pressure, but teams knew we were good, and we had proved it during the year. I think the Rangers, this current Rangers team, had a excellent second half of the year and cemented their spot. With a good 3-4 weeks left, you knew they were going to be a playoff team. You just didn't know at what spot they were going to be in. And then, matchup-wise, you saw Philly. You thought it was going to be a tight series. It was. The next series, you were always afraid that of what matchup it was going to be. Ends up being Pittsburgh. And when they were down 3-1, I really thought that was it. I thought the schedule had caught up to them. Mm-hmm. I didn't think they had enough in the tank. I knew Henrik was going to be good, but I didn't think he had enough. And the fact they were able to win those 3 games, and then the Bruins get knocked out, and I like the matchup against Montreal, and they've just seemed to roll from there. They've played some really good games in that stretch, and besides that 7-4 game, they haven't been off of that style of play very much, and it's been impressive.
Talking to Brian Leetch, in my opinion, the greatest Ranger of all time here on the Michael Kay Show. Brian, the players won't say it, but I guess you can. Who would you rather play if you were the Blue Shirts, the Kings or the Blackhawks?
Well, I would have said the Kings going into this series, into the Chicago-LA series. I mean, I've watched a lot of that. Well, I've watched a lot of hockey, but that Chicago has really impressed me, the way they move the puck, and they have some stretches of games where they look like the old Red Army team from the Russians, the way they move that puck around and the all-stars they have out there. But L.A. just continues to counterpunch and force the play, and, it's going to be hard either way. Quick is playing great. I think he's certainly an equal matchup to Henrik. Crawford's had his ups and downs, so you would probably favor Lundqvist in that matchup. But both teams are deep and have the ability to play different styles of games. So, like I said, I think those first two games, if they can catch whoever they get, not quite ready for the Rangers and not quite engaged emotionally because it's a team they don't see a lot, and jump on them there, then it's game on from there. But I think they really got to get at least one of those first two.
All right, before we let you go, a lot of people want to know why John Moore 2 games the same as Prust 2 games when Prust actually broke somebody's jaw.
Well, I guess the hit and the comparables, and that's the kid that Moore hit is still not playing, and concussions are very serious things. So it hasn't officially been ruled a concussion, but that's our thought pattern and watching them go off. And the group has a lot of comparables from over the years. This is my first year doing it, but over the 5 years they've been doing it, there's a lot of similar hits, and the consensus from the group came down to that. But it's never one person's opinion. It comes down to the group, and that's what it ended up being.
Well, can you settle one debate that we keep having? Different people have different opinions on this. Does the fact that the guy is hurt or not have anything to do with it? I mean, does that have anything to do with the punishment that's handed down?
Well, it won't affect whether it's a suspension or not, but it definitely affects whether the length of the suspension. Okay. The injury definitely plays a part into whether games are added on or not.
All right, Brian, we thank you so much. I know you'll be enjoying this. Bring you back 20 years, which is always nice. We appreciate your time.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Brian.